motivates me because, as I said, I can relate so well to what Frances Perkins went through. She had a big vision. She saw the dream and she went after it. And she knew that we could fight for a better country. And we have made progress, let's not be mistaken, since Frances's time. But we have not made enough progress. And as I travel the country, I get to meet and talk with working people from all walks of life, from all sectors and industries. And I don't know if you feel this, but there is a moment right now in this country where workers are rising up, right? And as I travel, I see teachers. You remember the teachers walking out, going on strike from West Virginia to Arizona in states that were not friendly states for teachers' unions. Some didn't even have collective bargaining rights. But they rose up because they needed smaller class sizes. They needed fairer pay. What about the supermarket workers here in New England? Stop and Shop? They stood up as well, right? They said, you know what, we need health care, better health care, fair pay. So they had to actually walk off the job. And that was an example where the union and the community came together, because when workers were out on those picket lines, the community stood with them. And they said, you know what, this is my community, this is my store, and I know you. You're a part of my community, so I'm going to stand with you. And when the company saw that 75% of foot traffic was actually moving away from their stores, they said, oh my gosh, we better get back to this bargaining table, right? What about Marriott workers who have, with Unite Here, stood up, went on strike again for better pay and health care, but really about technology? Because technology, if you know, is starting to creep into the workplace, right? When you go to a hotel, you're checking in with your phone, right? Sometimes there are robots in hotel lobbies these days. So those workers said, you know what? We want to say on how that technology gets implemented in the workplace. So part of that strike was to give them language in their collective bargaining agreement that they could bargain over how technology is going to be used in the workplace, right? And I would say workers not yet in unions are actually rising up. What about Amazon workers on Prime Day? Right? I don't know about you, but those fulfillment centers, not very fulfilling, right? They are almost a modern day sweatshop. They're monitoring workers' every move. And they have to have a piece rate of 600 units per hour, and if they don't make that, they don't get to go to the bathroom. Right? What about Google workers walking off the job, you know, on those NDAs around sexual harassment deals that were being cut with sexual harassers? And I've been talking a little bit about video game developers. And I don't know if anyone in here plays video games. Maybe your grandkids do, or your kids. But that industry is 3 times the size of Hollywood. And the wealth that you can see just rising up to the hands of a few. And the video game developers who make those games, working 14 to 16-hour days in the dark, at the end of what they call crunch to deliver a game. It's insane. Those workers need a voice. And they're actually rising up just like union workers are rising up. And in fact, MIT actually did a study recently that more than 60 million non-union workers say they would join a union if given the chance. But as we know, Commissioner of Labor knows, our laws are broken. Our labor laws are broken, and it takes an act of heroism to form a union these days because of the obstacles. But what we're seeing in workplaces all around us is what is driving this. Poverty wages, racial injustices, ICE raids, attacks on our free press. People are feeling like our economy and our democracy, our future, is all on the line. And we see the path forward, and the labor movement sees this. That protecting our future as a country, we believe the path forward is right through the labor movement. And joining together, collectively, is what is going to make the difference. And so we think the answer is more unions, but really the answer is all of us coming together to balance the scales.